We asked 847 women over the age of 50 a very simple question, but the answers turned out to be far more revealing than anyone expected. What parts of a man's body truly matter when that man is over 60? What do women, real women with real-life experience, actually pay attention to? What stands out immediately and what quietly shapes their entire perception of a man before he even speaks a single word? The third answer on this list even surprised me, and I've been studying men's health, aging, and attraction patterns for decades. And before you assume you already know the answers, before you jump to chest, shoulders, or arms, take a moment, pause, and just comment where you're watching from, because the insights I'm about to share will reshape the way you see yourself. The fourth body part on this list is something 91% of men overlook completely, yet it reveals your level of personal care even from a distance. And unfortunately, most men don't realize its importance until it's already too late. I'm going to walk you through all 5 body parts, explain why they matter more after 60 than they did at 40, and what women are noticing even if they pretend not to. And the last one, the first one women look at, may seem obvious, but the real reason behind it will change the way you think about your presentation forever. Because after a lifetime of working with men, I can tell you this with complete certainty. Your physical structure sends messages louder than your words ever could. So let's start with body part number 5. The one most men ignore until they notice people treating them differently and they can't figure out why. Your posture. I know, it doesn't sound like a body part, and I know it's something you've probably heard mentioned before, but stay with me. Because posture is not just an aesthetic detail, it is the first silent biography a woman reads about you the moment you come into view. Out of the 847 women we spoke with, 72% said a man's posture reveals more about his lifestyle than his overall physical fitness. Think about that for a moment. Fitness can be performed. Posture can't. It is one of the few parts of your presence that cannot lie. Imagine a woman watching you from across a cafe. You're just standing in line, nothing special, maybe checking the menu or waiting for your order. She isn't evaluating your muscles or your clothes. She is reading the way your spine holds you up, or doesn't. Are your shoulders slumped forward, collapsing your chest and shortening your breath? Is your head drifting in front of your chest like you're leaning away from the world? Does your body look like it's slowly folding inward from years of tension, stress, or neglect? Now remember, women in this age group are not comparing you to men in their 20s. They lived real life. They've seen real aging. They understand what 60 or 70 looks like. They don't expect you to move like a young athlete. They're looking for something far more important. When they look at your posture, they're silently asking one question. Is this man still engaged with life? Or is he starting to give up? That's the message posture sends. You may not feel it consciously, but women can sense it instantly. A man who stands tall gives the impression of energy, awareness, capability, vitality. A man who collapses into himself communicates defeat, exhaustion, resignation, and a subtle but powerful sense of diminishing presence. And I've seen this play out so many times. I've seen men with incredible physiques, broad shoulders, big chests, strong arms, who spend hours in the gym sculpting the body they once believed would command admiration. But they walk around with their upper backs rounded and their heads hanging forward, as if the world has worn them down. And no matter how impressive their muscles are, their presence tells a different story. I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm done. Then there's the other type of man. Maybe he's not in perfect shape. Maybe he has a softer midsection, a few extra pounds, a bit of age around the edges. But he stands with dignity. His chest is open, his head is level, his body speaks before he does. There's a calm ownership in the way he moves, and women feel it immediately. And between these two men, one visibly muscular but physically defeated, and the other average-looking but grounded and alive, which one do you think gets the second look? Which one do you think is perceived as capable, steady, desirable? The answer is always the same. Your posture is the first message the world reads. And the good news is, you can change this quickly. You don't need to be tall, you don't need a perfect body, you don't need to have been an athlete or worked a physical job. You simply need to consciously reclaim the space your body is meant to take up. Gently roll your shoulders back and down. Align your head with your spine. Imagine lifting your sternum just an inch higher. These tiny adjustments create massive transformations in how people see you and how you see yourself. Most men don't realize that posture affects your voice, your confidence, your perceived energy, and even your attractiveness, and women notice it before they notice your face. But the next body part on our list is something almost every man overlooks completely. It's your hands. And I want you to really hear this because your hands are more revealing than any other part of your body. Not because of their size or strength or veins, although those things can be attractive. What women notice is the condition of your hands, the nails, the skin texture, the grooming, the care. You can hide a lot of things as you age. You can cover your midsection with a shirt. You can style your hair to disguise thinning. You can wear clothes that flatter your body. But your hands? They always tell the truth. After 60, the aging process becomes especially visible in the hands. Veins become more pronounced. Skin develops texture. Age spots appear. None of this is unattractive. These are normal signs of a life well lived. But the question women are asking isn't, do his hands look young? The real question is, does he still take care of himself? Because hands require almost no time to maintain, yet most men don't bother at all. A quick trim, a simple filing, a little moisturizer, a clean nail bed, 60 seconds a week. But neglected hands, cracked, dry skin, overgrown nails, jagged edges, dirty cuticles, send a loud signal. This man doesn't pay attention to details. And details matter. They matter at work, in relationships, in life. They're what separates someone who still shows up fully from someone who's letting small things go. I will be very honest here. I've had conversations with many women who admitted that a man's hands were the reason they lost interest. Not because his hands were rough or scarred from years of work. In fact, working hands can be extremely attractive. Hands that show strength, history, capability, those can be magnetic. But hands that are neglected, uncared for, forgotten, they reveal a mindset of complacency. They reveal a man who takes shortcuts. And women notice that immediately. There's also something else men misunderstand. Over-groomed hands can be just as unattractive as neglected ones. If your hands look more manicured than hers, if they're polished to perfection, it signals something different. Trying too hard, insecurity, or even vanity. Women want a balance, clean, cared for, natural, confident, not polished like jewelry, not ignored like an afterthought. Just maintained with quiet discipline. And again, this has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with attention. But now we move to body part number 3, the neck and jawline. And this one revealed something fascinating in the survey. 84% of the women we spoke with said they pay more attention to this area than to a man's muscle size. Why? Because your neck and jawline tell a deeper story about your health, your weight, your muscle tone, and your vitality. And before you think, well, this is just genetics, let me stop you. Genetics play a role, yes, but effort matters far more. As men age, fat accumulates naturally under the chin, skin loses elasticity, the muscles supporting the neck weaken, the jawline softens. But here's where the difference comes in. Some men fight this decline with small, consistent habits, and others let it take over without resistance. And women can spot the difference from across the room. They're not expecting you to look like you did in your 30s. They're not looking for the sharp, carved jawlines of Hollywood actors. They are looking for signs of discipline, signs of maintenance, signs that you still take yourself seriously. You can't change your bone structure. You can't stop aging. But you can significantly improve the definition of your neck and jawline by lowering body fat and strengthening the muscles around your spine. Just losing 5 to 10 pounds can dramatically change your profile. Just improving your posture can make your jawline reappear. Just adding deadlifts, rowing, chin tucks, or simple neck strengthening movements can reshape your entire silhouette. And here's a story I often share. A client named Marcus, 67 years old, came to me feeling invisible. He was 12 pounds heavier than he wanted to be. His neck had softened over the years. His posture was slipping. 4 months later, after simple, consistent habits and posture work, he walked into an art event, and 3 different women approached him. One of them even commented on the structure of his jaw. He told me later, "I didn't realize how much I had let myself fade until I saw myself again." That is the power of reclaiming this area. Now we move to body part number 2, and this one surprises many men. Your forearms. You may be wondering why forearms rank so high on this list. Why something so ordinary, so basic, so often ignored becomes one of the most quietly powerful indicators of attractiveness. Here's why. Forearms reveal capability. They reveal functional strength. They reveal whether a man's body is useful, not just decorative. Women are not checking your forearms for beauty. They're checking them for competence. Because strong, defined forearms signal a man who can handle physical tasks, lift things, carry things, fix things, work with his hands. It's instinctive, primal, and immediate. Most men train the wrong muscles. They chase chest and biceps because those are the muscles they see in the mirror. But women notice the muscles that show up in everyday life. When you lift a suitcase, reach up to grab something, roll up your sleeves, open a jar, carry groceries, shake someone's hand. Forearms are visible all the time. They reveal grip strength. And grip strength, scientifically, is one of the strongest indicators of longevity and overall health. Women don't need research papers to know this. They see it, they feel it. A strong forearm says, "I'm capable, I'm active, I take care of myself, I can handle life." And a weak, soft, unused forearm says the opposite. But here's the great thing. Forearms respond to training better after 60 than almost any other body part. You're not fighting hormonal decline, you're working with nerve and muscle adaptation. Simple, everyday tasks like carrying heavy bags, doing farmer's walks, hanging from a bar, or even gripping thicker objects can transform your forearms quickly. And the vascularity, those natural veins that appear as you increase circulation, are deeply attractive because they signal vitality, good blood flow, and real strength. I've had women tell me, without hesitation, that they've been more drawn to a man's forearms than his face. Not because forearms are traditionally sexy, but because they signal usefulness and capability in a world where too many men have stopped being physically engaged. Women don't want to see a man obsessing over mirror muscles. They want to see a man whose body still knows how to function. But all of this, your posture, your hands, your jawline, your forearms, leads us to the most important body part of all. The one women notice first, focus on longest, and remember the clearest, your eyes. And more specifically, your expression, the look behind your eyes. The life inside your eyes. Because your eyes reveal something no other body part can ever reveal, your self-respect. You may think you're hiding your doubts, your insecurities, your fatigue, your frustration, your quiet resignation. But your eyes show all of it. Your eyes reveal whether you're still alive in spirit or if you've slowly dimmed yourself, whether you believe you still matter, whether you believe you still have something to offer, whether you still feel present in your own life. A man's eyes in his 60s, 70s, or beyond carry a deeper story than his younger self ever did. They reflect every triumph, every failure, every loss, every lesson. And women read all of that within moments. So here's the truth you must understand. Your expression is not about trying to look confident. It's about becoming present, becoming grounded. Standing in your life instead of watching it slip by. When you lift your head, open your chest, breathe with intention, and move with purpose, your eyes change. Your entire expression changes. You stop shrinking. You stop hiding. You stop playing small. And women feel that. All of these things together, the posture, the hands, the jawline, the forearms, the eyes, the voice, paint the picture of a man who still respects himself. a man who hasn't surrendered to aging, a man who hasn't shrunk into the background, a man who knows he still has value, purpose, meaning, contribution, warmth, strength. And here's the truth I want you to take with you. You are not too old to improve. You are not too old to attract. You are not too old to grow. In fact, this may be the most powerful stage of your life. You have knowledge younger men don't. You have maturity they haven't earned. You have emotional depth they haven't developed. And most men your age have already given up. So you have a massive advantage simply by choosing to keep going. If you're watching this right now, that means you're not done. You're not finished. You're not invisible. You're paying attention. You're seeking growth. And that puts you ahead of 85% of men your age. If you want more guidance, more practical steps, more awareness, and more control over your health, your appearance, your presence, and your confidence, follow this channel. Dr. Emily 360. I post every week, and everything I share is designed to help you keep getting better, sharper, stronger, more engaged, and more alive. You are not declining. You are evolving. And the best years you have may very well be the ones ahead of you. Age is just a number. Self-respect is the difference, and discipline is what lasts forever.